Disclaimer: if you have a trigger to any of these following topics, bullying, suicide, feeling alone, physical assault, anxiety and depression, do not watch this video. Thank you. Parental discretion is advised.
Hey guys, it's Noah, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my road to graduation. The reason why I decided to do this video is because you guys do not know me on a personal level. You guys know me as someone who does vlogs, unboxings, and reviews, and someone who posts thirst traps on TikTok. But you guys don't know the struggles that I had to face to get to where I am today. So this is why I decided to make this video so you guys can get a little bit more in depth on my personal life. So in this video, I will be touching on grade 1, then from grade 1, I will be moving to grade 4, and then from grade 4, I will be moving on to grade 12. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Starting off with grade 1. In grade 1, I was diagnosed with something called adenoids. What adenoids are, they are basically a patch of tissue that is high up in the throat, just behind the nose. My adenoids were the biggest ones that my doctor has ever seen. Since my adenoids were enlarged, it was making it really hard for me to breathe to the point where I stopped breathing when I was sleeping. My mom would literally have to shake me up in the middle of the night because I wasn't breathing. Since I wasn't getting any sleep, it was making it really hard for me to obtain information at school, making me fall behind. While all the kids in my class can read and write on their own, I couldn't. I remember my grade 1 teacher, Mrs. Manzella from St. Bonaventure Catholic Elementary School in Brampton, who would have to sit down with me one-on-one to actually help me read because I physically couldn't. And for all the major assignments, she would have to sit down with me and I would have to tell her what to write because I couldn't physically form those proper assignment sentences, if that makes sense. Since my adenoids, I did fall behind a lot in elementary school. It wasn't until grade 6, really, that my marks started to show improvement. Now moving on to grade 4. In grade 4, I was made fun of a lot. I did have friends. I mean, I guess I would have been like one of the popular kids in my school. An issue did occur with a student. Basically what she did, she was gossiping behind my back and I did catch it because some other students were also looking at me as she was gossiping. And basically I told the supervisor, and what happened was she got a note sent home. And that note literally had the school's emblem on the left-hand corner with I don't know what was on it. All I know was that she did receive a letter from the school that her parents did have to sign. That really went to show how strict St. Bonaventure was when it came to these types of things, either bullying, gossiping. They did consider that a serious matter and they dealt with it like how every school should. They did take these matters very seriously. Now, there was an issue with a teacher just before I moved. Basically, my teacher made me stand in another teacher's classroom for about a good 5 minutes because I was slow to taking off my outdoor wear. Outdoor wear being boots and jackets, whatever you would wear for the wintertime. And, you know, I had to stand in a class for 5 minutes because I was slow. Like, I couldn't help that I was slow, and, like, I did try to take off my stuff fast, but, like, why did it care if I was slow to take off outdoor wear? Like, I don't understand that. That was an issue that I also faced as well. Now we're moving on to Holy Cross Catholic School in Innisfil. This is where everything starts to go downhill from here. Before my first day, there was something called a walk-around day, and basically what a walk-around day is, it's where students go to check out the school, check out their potential teachers, and to see the whole vibe of the school, basically. We came to what my future grade 4 class would be, and I remember standing outside of that classroom and all of those students, 24 of them, just stared at me. And yes, that is normal, but I did feel this sense of like energy that wasn't so great. It was new and didn't feel sort of like I should be there. I don't know. I felt this very stagnant energy, and this wasn't even on my first day. Moving on to the first day, which would have been on Monday, because I completely remember that when I went, it was Fun Day Fridays or something like that. Monday was my first day, and oh boy. I walked into class. My mom dropped me off that day, and it was a complete culture shock. Like, I was coming from a school where boyfriends and girlfriends weren't a thing, but here in Innisfil, that was a thing at such a young age, and I didn't even know what boyfriends, girlfriends were. And another thing that was shocking was that students were allowed to swear. They were saying words that I didn't know because in Brampton, that's not acceptable, and you don't hear that day to day. Teachers at Holy Cross were okay with that because it was something that was normal to them and they didn't care if those students swore. And I always say that children are representations of their parents and they must have had to hear that somewhere. And if, they hear their parents saying it, then they must think it's okay. So there was a lack of maturity in that sense and a lack of manners because these students were allowed to swear and no one would say anything, which I thought was just very unacceptable to have to hear that literally every single day. Moving on from that part to first nutrition break, I completely remember there was this group of girls who I think some of them were in my class, some of them were in another grade 4 class, and basically they thought it was okay to come and prank me and to basically ask me out. So one of the girls came to me. I was literally sitting on a bench, I remember this. And basically this girl was pranking me. She basically came to ask me out on a date and I was like, okay, not knowing what that was, like, trying to fit in. 2 seconds after I said yes, she was like, oh, it's a prank. I was like, oh, okay. So these students were not even trying to get to know me and to sort of ask questions about me. They sort of were busy here playing pranks. I don't even know these people. They don't know me. And the fact that they were just playing pranks on me like that, like, I don't understand. No one knows me. No one actually asked questions. To this day, if you were to ask people that I went to school with if they actually know me, a lot of them will tell you that they don't, because a lot of them don't know me because they didn't have the time or bother to have that respect to get to know me. Now we're going to be moving on to second nutrition break. Second nutrition break was the first time I was physically assaulted, I guess, out in the playground. Basically this bigger male grade 4 student and this slim, I guess, grade 4 student who is also a male, they both came at me and basically charged at me. And then the second I know, I am like on the ground and cannot breathe because this one bigger grade 4 male student is on top of me and this other male student's on top of me and I can't breathe. Thank God that there was no ice or else there would have been serious issues. I wasn't even anywhere in the playing field of a game because I know better to not walk in the middle of a field if I saw a game being played. I was literally on the outskirts of the field and they both came at me and charged at me. I was literally knocked out for probably a good 2 seconds and I don't really remember anything from there. After that, though, later that day when I came home, I told my mom about it. Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I did not come home that day. I just remembered when I was editing this part that my mom picked me and my brother up and I told her in the parking lot, and before we even got in the car, she went straight back into the school to talk to the principal about this situation. The principal did nothing about it. Those students didn't get in trouble, or I don't even know if that was a planned attack. To me, it seemed like it was a planned attack because I didn't do anything wrong to them. It was my first day. I still wonder to this day why that happened. Also, please keep in mind that the bigger grade 4 male student that I was talking about is a very important part coming up later on in this video as well, because that wasn't the only time something happened. Next, I was recognized, and that was that one day of glory for me because I felt like I mattered and that I had some sort of respect from at least the teachers, because I was certainly not getting it from the student. And I was basically welcomed to a dysfunctional family. Like, those classmates did not treat me like family. I was alone. I didn't have anyone to really talk to. Going from being one of the popular kids in your grade at St. Bonaventure to having that stripped away from you in a blink of an eye, it sucked. Now we're going to be moving on to December. So this was by Christmas time. And for some reason, I remember it was like bring your stuffed animal to school day. I was basically at my desk and I cried. The students were asking me, why is he crying? Like, I heard that in the background, but I obviously didn't say anything. At that point in time, I was just super depressed because I had no friends. I was alone. I was just there to learn, and there wasn't any respect or anything like that from these students. It was like literally I was just there to learn, and that was that. And it gets hard because you see all these people that have friends and they have their groups, but like I didn't fit in since the first day. A lot of students didn't like me for whatever reason, because I don't know if it was because I was more responsible and more mature than them because I didn't act like that. Really, I was one of the only matured grade 4 student in that class. And I think a lot of students were jealous because they're like, how is this person so well behaved? Or like, how is this person so mature and responsible? I'm just like, that's how I was brought up. Like, literally, my family home life was very strict. We had a certain schedule. Nothing can alter that schedule. We had a strict deadline on things as well. And that's how I was brought up. I was brought up with discipline, maturity, manners. And a lot of these students weren't. A lot of these students didn't even know how to be mature or how to have manners or how to be responsible. And when that happens, you can't really fit in because these students are just not on your same level as you are. So now we're going to be moving into 2014. This is from either January to March, April maybe. We had a art project. We had to come up with a dance, and that was our art assignment, and that was what we had to do. And watching The Next Step back then was something that wasn't accepted because guys don't dance. They were stereotypes of them thinking that guys cannot dance. And because a lot of the guys in my class couldn't dance, but I sort of could, they were also jealous of that as well. So this one male student, and remember, this male student is very important for a next video that I will be making, he decided that it would be fine to record me in class without me knowing. And basically, I found out later on that that video was posted on social media, frankly, Instagram. Through those comments on social media, there was some horrible things being said because at that time when I found out, the principal told me that there was some very nasty things that were said, and basically the student was forced to delete it. I really felt like an outcast when it came to grade 4 because no matter what I did, I couldn't fit in. This situation that I'm going to talk about next happened in 2014, and basically for fun, again, trying to fit in, not maybe in the right ways, these group of girls were playing with a tree trunk stick, and basically they were running around with it, and I grabbed it and I started running around with it. And this female student, instead of asking for it back like a normal person would, she ended up kicking me in the stomach, physically assaulted by a female student. What happened was the teacher confronted the student and he was like, I don't want to hear any more issues from you. I think before I got there, she used to probably complain a lot due to the statement that what the teacher said to that student. She was a troublemaker. That student did not get in trouble. Even these simple things as being physically assaulted by someone, the school did nothing about that. But at St. Bonaventure, I'm pretty sure you would have got a serious punishment, either like detention or something else. You're kind of comparing apples and oranges here because you can't really compare these two schools. It just doesn't work out. Anything could basically fly at Holy Cross, and still I think does. The sense of discipline just isn't there. Now we're going to be moving on to grade 5, and again, basically not having any friends. In grade 5, I helped the office a lot, and grade 5 was the year that I did so, which made me feel that I was respected by teachers. I was liked by teachers because I was always in the office helping and doing that because I certainly wasn't getting along with any students. It just clearly wasn't working. I tried and I couldn't keep trying if I wasn't going to get anything in return. So I just helped the office from grade 5 to grade 8. I felt like I was appreciated. This incident happened with another male student, and this male student, regarding this situation, is important for the next grade as well. My grandparents went to Dubai that year and came back with some souvenirs, and one of those things was pencil sharpeners. And Dubai pencil sharpeners, their blades are like something else. This student asked to borrow it, and I said sure. And after the student sharpened his pencil, he went to the bathroom and took apart the pencil sharpener. I then again went to my mom. I told my mom the situation after school, and the teacher did nothing about that after even knowing it. The student didn't get in trouble or anything like that. So again, lack of discipline at this school is just going to be carried out, and it's just like really frustrating that no matter the issues that I had, it wasn't getting dealt with. Moving on to grade 6. From 4 to basically grade 7, I was sick a lot. I would be out of school for maybe 2 to 3 months because I was just so sick I could not come back to school. What the issue was, a male student, again, this student is also going to be talked about later on because another issue also occurred in a later grade. This student took my shoes when I was gone and used them. And the student literally told me the day that I came back that he took my shoes and used them. He said that he forgot his shoes that day. I'm like, okay, so what? Use your outdoor shoes. It's not like you're gonna get in trouble. If you forgot your indoor shoes for one day, that's not gonna kill you. He told me, and as I only go to get my shoes, literally, there was only one pair. Well, I'm like, where's the other one? I look to the left of me, and where the grade 4 or 5 hallways are, my shoes were over there in the middle of the hallway. Another issue of how we went to the teacher and the teacher did nothing. Time went on, I came back and then got sick many times, and one day I came back to even garbage in my desk. Students were so lazy. They could not go to the garbage can or to the recycling can in the classroom. They had to go to another student's desk and put garbage in it. I don't understand how it is put into these people's brains that putting garbage in other people's desks is okay. Garbage in my desk was something that went on even in grade 7. Now we're going to be moving on to a issue that happened with gym class. And this was with the exact same student who took my pencil sharpener and broke it, as mentioned in grade 5. We were playing dodgeball and I had the ball first, whatever. It was just like someone had to go grab the ball, and basically whatever happened with that ball, that student decided to punch me in the face. Of course, I punched back and I defended myself. When the teacher found out, I was sent to the office. The other student was upstairs in the classroom. He was called down later on, and because I was helping the office, the principal obviously would trust me with what I had to say. So with that being said, I told my side of the story, then the other student came down and told his side of the story, and what happened was that student lied because I ended up getting suspended for punching the student even though that student punched me first. How I found that out, later on in that situation, I DM'd that same student because I wanted to know. Like, I wanted a confession, basically. I wanted to get closure from the situation. And he told me in an Instagram DM that he lied to the principal. That was something that I had to deal with. I had a suspension on my record for something that I didn't deserve because that other student lied. And forget that issue, but when I was down in the principal's office, the principal threatened to call the cops on me for defending myself. And that was something that I was in grade 6. I was scared. My mom came in there and was fuming with the principal because I had issues with the exact same student. You know, I wouldn't just go punching people just because. I stood up for myself finally, and I got punishment for it. Once I told my mom that the principal was going to call the police and literally threatened to call the police on me, she was so determined to go back into the school to go off on the principal, and I was like, please don't do that. You're going to make my situation worse. So she didn't, and I basically went home that day. I had the at-home suspension the next day, and I got Tim Hortons that day because I was defending myself. I didn't really get in trouble with my mom. Since me and this other student were definitely having a disagreement to whose story was right, the principal decided that it would be best to PA a classroom. Basically, the principal, instead of PAing the whole school, you can PA just the class. He basically asked the class, what happened? Did I punch the person first, or did the person punch me first? And of course, the class didn't agree with me. Like, it's 24 students against 1. What am I supposed to do? Like, I can't go back from that. Like, no one's gonna believe me. And all those people didn't like me for whatever reason. I did nothing to them. And they all said that I punched the student first, which was a lie. Now moving on to a more serious issue. It's not just about dodgeball. This has to deal with cyberbullying. Before I got cyberbullied, I gave my email address because at that time it's not a phone. So with how iMessaging works is, you have an email address. And so I gave my iCloud email address to this person we were communicating. And then it started to turn into something else. A phone number was added to the chat, and basically it just got really bad from there. The student, remember the exact same student who was one of the bigger grade 4s that I explained to you in grade 4 that knocked me down on the first day? He is the exact same student who cyberbullied me and was the exact same student who was trying to throw spitballs at me but completely failed. He ended up hitting another student in the head with one and missed me. I had my suspicions on who he was before I came to this amazing discovery that I had this person's phone number in my Dolphin Tale 2 book. Shout out to Winter. Hashtag RIP gone too soon. I had his phone number written down at the back of the book. And when I went to notice that it was the same number, I was like, I know who exactly this person is. And I told my mom who the person was. Before I found that out, though, and before I kind of went into that investigation, I told the teacher what I had my suspicions on, and she was like, how do you know that? I was like, I just know. My intuition was telling me that it was this person because, again, with the spitballs and because the way all of a sudden he was treating me in class. Like, I'd done nothing wrong to this person. So this teacher was like, you can't just make this accusation because it's a very serious accusation. And I was like, yeah, I know. Later on, my accusation was right. How this sort of went down was the principal decided to do nothing about the situation. He basically told my mom that me and this other person will have to work this situation out. Meanwhile, the female student that was also part of the whole cyberbullying issue as well, she got in no trouble. The male student, frankly, took the blame for all of that, which wasn't necessarily fair. And there was also issues regarding to know what the consequence was for the students. Because the principal said at that time it was confidential, my mom had no clue when this student was ever going to be back, and I didn't know. And this issue was kind of going on for a couple days because the principal didn't want to get involved to sort of fix the issue. I came to school one day, my dad dropped me off that day, I walked up the stairs to go to class, and through the second door to sort of like go into that hallway, I saw the student. My heart was racing so fast. I was like, what is this guy gonna do to me? I was afraid that he was like gonna beat me up or whatever the case was. I quickly ran back downstairs, back down to the first floor, and I quickly went into the office and I told the secretary there that I need to call home. She's like, you just got here. I'm like, I need to call home. She was using me the access to call home, but I finally kind of got through to her. I was like, I need to call home right now. And so I called my mom and I was like, he's here. And she's like, who's here? I told my mom who the person was, and she's like, oh, okay, don't worry, I'm coming. So my mom ended up coming to the school, and the principal had the audacity to tell me that, why don't we have the two students sitting in here? I'm like, I'm not talking to this person. I feel very scared. Later that day, the police officers were called as well. Then that same student, he decided to go to Instagram, change his Instagram name to Noah is a B-word N-word. And I will forever be grateful to a student who told me that. Since he was on Instagram, I didn't have Instagram, obviously. He told my mom what he saw. That was the only person who wasn't a bystander and who didn't blame me for what happened. Once that student was not there for that day and I came into class, the conclusion of that issue was it was actually up to my mom and to the other student's mom to sort of meet at Tim Hortons and resolve it because the principal wanted nothing to do with it. After this cyberbullying issue occurred, I started to get suicidal thoughts because I just felt that I didn't matter. Like, I was not respected. I was alone. I had no one. And after this situation, I just felt like I shouldn't be here. I'm being constantly made fun of. I'm being bullied. I'm not respected as a human being. After this situation happened, I really felt that if I knew what homeschooling was and really had a better understanding, I would have brought that up to my parents, because at this point in time, I was like, I do not belong in the public school education system. It wasn't for me. I didn't feel welcomed. I didn't feel that I needed to be there. And, you know, I was just having constant issues and it seemed like it would not stop. Now moving on to grade 8. What happened was my grade 8 teacher Very nice teacher, by the way, but he did things that I certainly did not agree with. He basically stripped away my privileges for helping in the office and doing door monitors. I don't know why, but his excuse or what he told me was because you need to like hang out with people your own age. Hang out with people that since grade 4 hasn't liked me. I tried for 4 years and didn't go anywhere. Now you're all of a sudden stripping me away from something that is the only thing that I have left. That was elementary school. Now we're moving on to high school, and high school was at St. Peter's Catholic Secondary School. Now moving on to grade 10. Do you remember the exact same student that I was talking about in grade 6 who took my shoes and wore them without really my permission? Well, this same student, again with garbage, couldn't escape garbage. This student was putting garbage in my ear. Now going on to grade 11. Grade 11, as all of you guys know, I was called out on social media by one female student who decided to post on her Snapchat story, basically calling me out. I did have and still do have strong COVID opinions. I can proudly say that after all of these issues, my marks have certainly risen since grade 4. I have been scoring 80s to 100s for the past couple years now. After all of these issues, I can finally put it behind me. I wanted to make this video to tell my story and what I had to go through to get where I am today. Please do not forget that I also have a spin-off video coming out this month explaining some issues that happened at St. Peter's and some social justice issues as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure that you guys like and subscribe, as well as hit that bell notification so you get a notification every time I post a brand new video. Also, please make sure that you're following my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter for extra content and updates from me. Continue to spread positivity, and I will see you guys in the next one.